Thanks for watching WRAL News Plus. You can also stream online anytime at WRAL.com. Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Julian Grace. Well, we start right here. A man is recovering after being shot on Fayetteville Street in downtown Raleigh early this morning. Now, this is the latest second crime scene in that area in the past 5 days, and the second Fayetteville Street shooting in 3 weeks. WRAL's Carly Haynes joins us live from Fayetteville Street. And Carly, what do we know about this most recent shooting?
Well, this happened overnight in City Plaza where we're standing right now, and this is the heart of downtown. It's home to businesses, to restaurants, and a lot of events and festivals like the one that's going on Fayetteville Street right now. This is video from the scene just hours ago. Raleigh police arrived on Fayetteville Street at about 2:45 this morning and found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to WakeMed, and he is expected to live. This isn't the first crime scene here in August. Just Wednesday, one block over, Raleigh police officers filled this street after a man said he was shot at. Police ultimately didn't find any evidence of a shooting. Then near the same area on August 6th, a man was shot and taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The suspect of that shooting was arrested hours later after being stabbed. With all the scenes popping up lately, some people tell us they're being precautious.
I have to be with a group of people or I don't feel particularly safe, but I don't know that that is specific to this area. That's just like a personal preference thing. But, knowing that these crimes are happening, I'm probably gonna be less likely to be out alone unless I absolutely have to.
And WRAL data trackers found that there have been at least 13 crimes along the 300 block of Fayetteville Street so far this year. As far as the most recent shooting that happened overnight, police say they don't have any suspect information at this time, so there haven't been any arrests. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
It'll be interesting to see how the city responds. Well, a high-profile Democrat is backing a Republican in the race for state auditor. Now, none of the candidates have a background in governmental auditing, but former auditor Beth Wood says she thinks Republican Dave Bolick has the right experience for the job. The longtime auditor picked Bolick over Democrat Jessica Holmes and Libertarian Bob Drack. Holmes is the sitting auditor, you may know. Now, she's endorsed by Governor Roy Cooper. Cooper appointed Holmes to the position when Wood resigned in December. Wood stepped down after pleading guilty to misdemeanor charges of using a state vehicle for personal errands. Now, for more about the candidates who want to become the next state auditor, go to NC Capital section of WRAL.com. All the details are right there. Well, this is a big week for students returning to class. Wake County students start back Tuesday, but Durham, Johnston, and Cumberland County school systems are part of the large group starting their traditional calendars back tomorrow. Cumberland County Schools recently had a security shakeup after the sheriff's office said they would no longer provide school resource officers to several schools. Now, several police departments in local towns have stepped in to help fill those positions. Tomorrow on WRAL, we're talking to the superintendent about all things safety and security and what families need to know as students go back to school. Wilson County schools start tomorrow after that tornado you may recall at Springfield Middle School. That's right. The August 8th tornado tore part of the roof off and knocked down the walls in the 6th and 7th grade halls. The school plans to use mobile units for some classrooms. Others will be moved into the 8th grade wing. WRAL is your back to school headquarters. Wake up with Renee, Jeff, Chris, Michelle, Elizabeth. We'll be tracking the weather as well and conditions at the bus stop. Ken will navigate you around any traffic issues. We'll have live team coverage from Durham to Fayetteville. It all gets started at 4:30 in the morning. Durham police are working to find the person responsible for shooting and killing and injuring a woman. Shooting and killing a man, we should say, and injuring a woman. This happened on Avondale Drive in the early morning hours. WRAL's Laura Levine explains how police were first notified and tells us where the investigation stands tonight.
Investigators spent several hours here on the scene of Avondale Drive, blocking off a few local businesses here. We know an off-duty police officer heard the gunfire and then responded to the scene. The officer discovered the victims in this parking lot.
It's shocking somewhat, you know what I mean, but another day in Durham.
A violent end to a Saturday night. As police collected evidence, a trace of the late-night events remain. What did you hear?
I heard a loud gunshot, and I was away on Horton Road, and that's typical noise out here.
Someone who didn't want to be on camera was surprised to see police still out while he was headed to work.
They really should crack down on everything. It's a lot going on out here, you know what I mean? It's a lot of guys out here with them guns, and they don't know how to act.
Durham police tell me an off-duty officer working their second job called the shooting in a little after 4 a.m. Broadcastify radio traffic indicates crews were there in minutes.
You got medic 2, about 3 to 4 minutes out.
Copy. You're going to have one shot, the one that's shot in the leg. Medic 7, if you would, I need one of y'all to help with patient care.
That woman is expected to be okay. However, a man who was also struck by a bullet died later at the hospital. Durham's latest crime report shows the number of people shot was up by 43.8% when compared to the first 6 months of 2023. For this case, forensics took photos and swabbed a white Nissan car, piecing together a bigger puzzle many hope will soon get solved.
This is definitely tragic. It's a tragic moment. I mean, always a tragic moment with that. But I just pray for the best for our city.
This investigation is still ongoing. Anyone with any information is asked to give Durham police a call. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Durham.
Troopers are investigating a crash that happened on US 64 between Nightdale and Wendell this afternoon. Video from our breaking news tracker shows a badly damaged car with the trunk smashed in. We have reached out to troopers for more information about how the crash happened and the conditions of the people involved. One person is dead after a single car crash in Sampson County early this morning. Troopers say the car was driving south on US Highway 13 and ran right off the road down an embankment and into a swampy area. The driver has not been identified by troopers at this time. A house is destroyed and multiple people displaced after a fire in Aberdeen. Firefighters believe the fire started on the deck of this home on Camberley Lane. Everyone was able to get out of the house safely. A family member on the scene says 4 soldiers assigned to the Special Forces live in that home. One of them is currently deployed and another is away in training. The Red Cross is assisting them. Fire badly damaged a home in Sampson County. The 3-story house was covered in flames when Roseboro firefighters arrived on West North Street around 2:30 this morning. The Roseboro fire chief says that the people who lived there were out of town when the fire broke out. No one was hurt. Just in time for the Tar Heel football season, a new parking deck in Chapel Hill opens tomorrow. It will be on 125 East Rosemary Street. The deck will add about 1,000 spaces to downtown. Construction will not be complete, so expect to see some areas still being finished. With traditional schools starting back across the viewing area this week, we already need to be extra alert when driving. Just ahead, a valuable reminder about the rules of the roads around school buses. Find out when it's okay to keep driving and when you should stop. Also ahead, a fun festival celebrating Latin American culture in Orange County today. We'll have more on that. Anthony.
And Julian, it's a beautiful forecast out there for us this evening. Temperatures are warm, if not hot. They're in the mid to upper 80s for the majority of us. We only get warmer, though, into the upcoming week. We're going to talk about when we could see some big time feels like values into the triple digits coming up.
Welcome back. A known carcinogen may be lurking in your child's school. Last year, NC State shut down a campus building after finding high levels of PCBs, chemicals used in construction, before their 1979 federal ban. These persistent chemicals remain in many older buildings, and experts estimate that 1 in 3 schools have PCBs. Unlike lead and asbestos, many school districts don't test for PCBs, leaving them untraceable.
The evidence for harm is so strong for PCBs. but it hasn't gotten any traction with the politicians, with the health agencies.
Tomorrow at 6 on WRAL, Keely Arthur reveals how PCBs pose a significant risk to younger students. Find out how many older schools where these toxic chemicals are most likely to be found are in each district. Interesting. Well, it's not just parents and students who are adjusting to new back-to-school routines. Your commute likely will be a little slower with all those extra buses on the road. It's a good time for a refresher about what to do when the school bus is stopped. WRAL's Megan Glover is here with some information that could save lives. Megan.
Yeah, Julian, all drivers must not only be aware around school buses, but also know the law of the road. Now, if you're not sure when to stop for a school bus, well, we got some guidance for you.
Let's start with a simple 2-lane road. When the bus stops, all traffic from both directions must stop. Now, we add a center turning lane. Again, when the bus stops, all traffic from both directions has to stop until the stop arm retracts. Here's a 4-lane road without a median separation. This is another situation where all the traffic stops when a bus is stopped. Let's look now at divided highways with a median separation. When the bus stops, only traffic following the bus must stop. It's a similar situation with a road that has 4 or more lanes and a center turning lane. When the bus stops, traffic following the bus must stop while the arm is out. Traffic on the other side can keep going.
And some more things to keep in mind when backing out of a driveway. Look out for kids walking or biking to school. Also keep an eye out for kids walking in the street, especially if the road has no sidewalk. And of course, always be alert. Kids arriving late for the bus may dart into the street without looking for that traffic, Julian.
That is just great advice that we all can use. Thank you, Megan. Well, people gathered in downtown Carborough today for a celebration of Latin American culture. The event is called Fiesta en la Calle. It is aimed at bringing together the community. In its 9th year, the festival aims to cultivate a sense of belonging, connection, and joy among people who live in Carborough and visitors. What a great time people had out there today. Look at this. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Let's get to Anthony right now. Anthony, warmer temperatures this evening, though, right?
Yeah, certainly warm out there for us, Julian, but I will say it's manageable. Our humidity levels are still relatively low. That is going to change, though, as we head into the upcoming week. Good evening to all of you, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this weekend, the nice stretch of weather we had. Beautiful night to be out there, though, on the water. There's our Lake Gaston camera. A lot of the boats, of course, up there in the dock, but you can see a couple of them back there just enjoying whatever you're doing this evening. Weather-wise, we are in good shape with low humidity. Temperatures are hot, though, if not warm, we'll call it here for the majority of us. 86 there in Raleigh. We're at 87 Fayetteville, 84 Southern Pines, 86 in Durham. We talk about our humidity levels, and so our dew points, the measure of the moisture in the air. When you're in the, let's say, 50 to about 60 degree range or so, it still feels relatively comfortable. That's the tolerable category, we call it. 71 degree dew point, though, there in Clinton. Yeah, that's feeling tropical. So there are some locations where we're seeing that bump up. But again, the majority of us looking at comfy, we bump it up there to tropical for everyone into the upcoming week. There's a look at where we're headed. If you haven't been outside at all yet, if you can soak up some of these last few hours, if you will, of some kind of manageable humidity, there's where we start to head. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday especially, it starts to go back up. We'll be feeling the humidity. Tomorrow, even into Tuesday, yes, it'll be warmer than this weekend, or more humid, I should say, but it's not going to be hugely noticeable until we start to get into the middle part of the week. There's a look at where we could be as far as our feels like temperatures are concerned. 103 degrees there yet again into Wednesday, 102 on Thursday. Actual high temperatures there in the mid to upper 90s. Records are in the low 100s there for Tuesday, so I don't think we'll quite get there. The rest of the day is still probably pretty close to records. We may not beat them, but still, to be even close to record territory, that's saying something. Tonight, though, look at these temperatures. This is going to feel decently cool compared to where we are headed. Waking up tomorrow morning, 58 degrees there in Roxborough, 62 in Raleigh, 64 in Clinton, 64 there in Fayetteville as well. And it should be a nice cool start here tomorrow morning and still feeling decently comfortable. 91 tomorrow, so you see the temperatures slowly starting to go up here the next couple of days. That's where we should start to go tomorrow afternoon. It'll come with a lot of sunshine, though. It's going going to be another dry day for us. Pretty limited rain chances the next week. I don't have any in the forecast until later on, let's say probably starting Thursday. And I know lots of football games, of course, high school football games going on later this week. I do not think this is going to be a total washout kind of event for us. It's where we may see some bubbling up in the afternoon. And then by the time we get to the evening, I'm hopeful that those will fizzle out. But we'll continue to track that closely. Otherwise, we start the week off there with temperatures right about 91 tomorrow afternoon, 95 on Tuesday, 98 by the time we get into Wednesday. It only lasts a day or two there, 97 Thursday. And Julian, we head into next weekend. That 89 is going to be feeling really nice there after the middle part of this week with the 98, the more humidity. I hope people enjoyed here the taste of fall, the false fall we've been called in the past couple days.
Yeah, great way to call it that. Thanks, Anthony. Casey, that doesn't look like football weather, though.
No, it doesn't, but we are right in the thick of football. And you know what? You know your program is doing something right when you're flipping a recruit from Clemson to Duke. We'll have more on that. Plus, next, we've also got a slate of women's soccer coming up. On July 20th, Grimsley defensive end Bryce Davis committed to Clemson live on our high school OT stream. And just 36 days later, the top 100 prospect has flipped his commitment to Duke. Now, you know you're doing something right when football recruits are flipping their commitments. Like I said, from a powerhouse like Clemson to Duke, it says a lot about what Manny Diaz, a defensive mind himself, is doing with the Blue Devils program in just a short amount of time. Now, the Grimsley High School edge rusher is a consensus 4-star prospect and ranked in the top 77 class of 2025 prospects in the 3 of the top recruiting platforms. Now, in an interview with High School OT back in July following his commitment to Clemson, he did speak highly of Duke.
Just definitely what Coach Diaz is doing there. You know, I respect him, I respect his program, and just how much of a priority I was to them. It speaks volume, and it was something that kept them in the fight for this long.
Now, coming up tonight on Sports Extra, State, Carolina, and Duke all officially in game week. We'll get you primed for week 1 of the college football season, plus a very recent former Durham Bull making an immediate impact with the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll have more on him. And don't miss a special from the vault. Hint, hint. All good things must come to an end. It's all on Fox 50 following the 10 p.m. news. Let's head over to the pitch now to Dorrance Field. First ever meeting between North Carolina and Arizona women's soccer programs. This one scoreless in the 78th minute. Tar Heels finally break through when Tessa Delarose fires the long-range boot. Her second goal of the season, 1-0 Heels. Moments later, Wildcat defender can't clear. Olivia Thomas takes advantage. She twinkles twine for her third goal of the season. Carolina improves to 4-0 under Damon Nahas. 2-0 the final. Up to Richmond, Virginia. NC State ladies taking on VCU, looking for their first win of the season. Pack scratched the score sheet first. 5th minute, Mana Nakata from outside the 18-foot box makes it 1-0 Pack. Then in the 29th minute, corner kick, and Abby Pugh gets the loose ball, and she's going to bury it. State piles it on. 5-0. It's the first time the Pack have scored 5 goals since 2021. The NWSL schedule picks back up tonight for the North Carolina Courage. The ladies out in the Pacific Northwest taking on Seattle Reign FC. The Courage riding strong form, having won their last 3 regular season games. 3 points up for grabs tonight as the ladies focus on continuing their momentum and cementing their position at the top of the table. It's a 10 p.m. first touch tonight from Seattle.
Jeff, your little boy has done it! Harrison Burton wins in Daytona!
Harrison Burton, the son of a longtime NASCAR driver Jeff Burton, moved to the Cup Series in 2022 as a hot young prospect after winning 4 times in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But in 96 starts for the storied Wood brothers, he had little success, prompting the team to hire Josh Berry for 2025 and put Burton in the free agent pool for next season. Now, the North Carolina native season and career changes completely with a win at Daytona.
I don't know. I cried the whole victory lap. I obviously got fired from this job, and I wanted to do everything for the Wood brothers that I could. They've given me an amazing opportunity in life, and to get them 100 on my way out is amazing. We're in the playoffs now. Let's go to Darlington and see what happens.
So cool, Julian, for two storied racing families there last night at Daytona.
Yeah, congratulations to the Wood family. Thank you, Casey, and thank you for joining us tonight. NBC Nightly News with Haley Jackson is next. Have a good night, and we'll see you later on.